Verse 21, does this mean that the legal part of the Torah stands in opposition to God's promises? Heaven forbid. I love this verse. This is, right here, Paul is defending Torah. He's saying, look, Torah is not opposed to God's promises. For if the legal part of the Torah, which God gave, had in itself the power to give life, then righteousness really would have come by legalistically following the Torah. But instead, the Tanakh shuts up everything under sin, so that what had been promised might be given on the basis of Yeshua, the Messiah's trusting faithfulness, to those who continue to be trustingly faithful. Now, before the time for this trusting faithfulness came, we were imprisoned in subjection to the system which results from perverting the Torah into legalism, kept under guard until this yet-to-come trusting faithfulness would be revealed. Accordingly, the Torah functioned as a custodian until the Messiah came, so that we might be declared righteous on the ground of trusting and being faithful. But now that the time for this trusting faithfulness has come, we are no longer under a custodian. For in union with the Messiah, you are all children of God through this trusting faithfulness. Because as many of you as were immersed into the Messiah have clothed yourselves with the Messiah, in whom there is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free man, neither male nor female. For in union with the Messiah, Yeshua, you are all one. Also, if you belong to the Messiah, you are the seed of Abraham and heirs according to the promise. Let me just pause here. I've got a little commentary on this section here. Okay, here's a little excerpt on verses 25 through 27 of chapter 3. Speaking of the supervision of the law, the Greek term, is translated tutor or guardian. It is unfortunate that the King James Version refers to the law as a schoolmaster, and that the NIV finds it necessary to work around the objective term by speaking of our being put under charge or supervision. The term, which means a child custodian or child attendant, the pedagogue was a slave employed by wealthy Greeks and Romans to have the responsibility for one of the children of the family. He had charge of the child from about the years 6 to 16 and was responsible for watching over his behavior wherever he went and for conducting him to and from school. The pedagogue did not teach. Therefore, the translation schoolmaster is wrong. Although the English word pedagogy is derived from it, the Greek word had no teaching functions. And although the Torah had as one of its goals leading Jewish people to the Messiah, as Shaul explicitly says in Romans 10, verse 4, that is not the import of the present verse. The term actually would have been a harsh disciplinarian hired to do a job, with the boy required to obey him. Thus, the Torah, because it was perverted into legalism, served in the role of harsh disciplinarian for the Jewish people, providing some protection by generally making the Jewish person aware of many transgressions. See verse 19. So that we Jews might turn from legalistic rule following and be declared righteous forensically on the basis of our trusting and being faithful to Yeshua, whose trusting full faithfulness to God, our Father, purchased our salvation. And so what we're saying here is that we're no longer under the supervision of the Torah. We're not saying that we're no longer under Torah. That is, that the Jews are no longer under Torah. No, of course they are. What we're saying is we're no longer under the legalistic supervision of Torah. No, we're under the Jews are under the Torah in a means of trusting faithfulness, in a means of love through Messiah. And so this is what this is conveying here. Let me just read this again so you can get the gist of it again. Now, before the time for this trusting faithfulness came, we were in prison in subjection to the system which results from perverting the Torah into legalism, kept under guard until this yet-to-come trusting faithfulness would be revealed. Accordingly, the Torah functioned as a custodian until the Messiah came, so that we might be declared righteous on the ground of trusting and being faithful. But now that the time for this trusting faithfulness has come, we are no longer under a custodian. So we're no longer under the supervision, but that doesn't mean that the Jews are no longer under Torah. And this is referring to the perversion of Torah as a supervisor. Chapter 4.